The Life and Legacy of Alexander Graham Bell. Chapter 1. Roots of Genius. A Family of Voices. Alexander Graham Bell was born on March 3, 1847, in Edinburgh, Scotland, into a family with a rich tradition in elocution and speech science. His grandfather, Alexander Bell, was a respected speaker and teacher of elocution, whose influence shaped the family's pursuit of spoken language. His father, Alexander Melville Bell, was a renowned speech therapist and the creator of Visible Speech, a system designed to help deaf people learn to speak. Bell's mother, Eliza Grace Simmons Bell, was deaf, yet she remained a central figure in his intellectual development, encouraging his love for music and understanding of nonverbal communication. Bell was the middle of 3 sons, and though he was not particularly successful in formal schooling, he demonstrated an extraordinary intellectual curiosity from a young age. He frequently conducted science experiments in the family basement, and was especially drawn to the mechanics of sound. His ability to explore, observe, and invent came naturally, nurtured by a home that valued inquiry and creativity. Chapter 2. A Transatlantic Journey, Emigration and Opportunity. The Bell family faced tragedy with the early deaths of Alexander's 2 brothers, Melville and Edward, both of whom succumbed to tuberculosis. Concerned for the health of the remaining family members, Alexander's father decided to move them to Canada in 1870. They settled in Brantford, Ontario, where the natural surroundings and healthier climate provided both solace and inspiration. In Brantford, Bell set up a small workshop where he resumed his experiments. He constructed a voice transmission device, worked with tuning forks, and developed ideas for a machine that could reproduce human speech. He also explored the harmonic telegraph, a concept involving the transmission of multiple signals over the same wire. A year later, Bell moved to Boston, Massachusetts. There, he began teaching at the Boston School for the Deaf, and later at Boston University. His classes were based on his father's visible speech method, and his students, many of whom were deaf, responded positively to his patient and compassionate approach. Among them was Mabel Gardner Hubbard, who would later become his wife. Chapter 3. The Birth of an Idea, From Sound to Signal. While teaching, Bell continued to work on his experiments. He became increasingly obsessed with the idea of transmitting the human voice over wires. This vision stemmed from his work with the telegraph and from observing the mechanics of the human ear. He believed that if the ear could convert sound waves into electrical impulses for the brain to interpret, a machine could do the same. Bell partnered with Thomas Watson, a skilled electrical technician who shared his passion for innovation. They rented a small workshop and began working on a device that could mimic the functions of the human ear. Their experiments were meticulous and often frustrating. They tested different materials for the diaphragm, experimented with electrical current variations, and designed crude microphones. After months of trial and error, the breakthrough came on March 10, 1876. Bell spilled battery acid on his clothes and instinctively called out, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." To his amazement, Watson heard the words clearly through the receiver in another room. The telephone had been born. Chapter 4. Claiming the Invention, the Race to Patent. Just days before the critical test, Bell had filed a patent application for the telephone. Unbeknownst to him, another inventor, Elisha Gray, had also submitted a caveat describing a similar invention. What followed was one of the most famous patent disputes in American history. Bell's application, which reached the patent office just hours before Gray's, was granted on March 7, 1876. However, Gray and others accused Bell of borrowing ideas and fought the patent in court. Over the following years, Bell and his legal team defended his rights in more than 600 lawsuits. In each case, Bell retained the patent, solidifying his position as the recognized inventor of the telephone. The legal challenges did not slow Bell's momentum. He gave public demonstrations, including one at the 1876 Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia, where the Emperor of Brazil and other dignitaries were astonished to hear voices transmitted over wires. These demonstrations caught the attention of investors, and soon the Bell Telephone Company was established. Chapter 5. Expanding Communication, the Business of Bell. With the telephone gaining attention, Bell's next task was building a commercial enterprise. In 1877, Bell and his partners founded the Bell Telephone Company, which later became American Telephone and Telegraph (AT&T). The early years were filled with technical, logistical, and financial challenges. Bell preferred invention to management, so he left much of the business operations to others, including his father-in-law, Gardner Green Hubbard, and Thomas Sanders, another early investor. Despite obstacles, the telephone network grew rapidly. Operators were hired to connect calls, and telephone exchanges began to appear in major cities. The device evolved from a novelty into an essential tool for businesses and individuals alike. By the end of the 19th century, the telephone had transformed global communication, just as Bell had envisioned. Chapter 6. Education and Advocacy. Champion for the deaf. Bell never lost sight of his original passion, improving communication for the deaf. After marrying Mabel Hubbard in 1877, who herself had been deaf since early childhood, he became even more dedicated to this cause. He believed that with proper education and support, deaf individuals could learn to speak and participate fully in society. In Washington, D.C., Bell founded the Volta Bureau in 1887, using funds awarded from the French government's Volta Prize for his scientific achievements. The Bureau focused on research into hearing, speech, and education. It collected data, supported schools, and promoted oralism, the belief that deaf people should use spoken language instead of sign language. Though his stance on oralism was controversial and drew criticism from advocates of sign language, Bell believed he was helping deaf people integrate into mainstream society. His efforts, while imperfect, brought much-needed attention and resources to deaf education. Chapter 7. Beyond the Telephone. A Mind That Wandered. Alexander Graham Bell's inventive mind was never content to rest. After the success of the telephone, he turned his attention to other scientific pursuits. He invented the photophone, a device that transmitted sound using beams of light, which he considered his greatest invention. Though it had limited practical use at the time, the photophone anticipated fiber optic communications. Bell also explored flight. In 1907, he founded the Aerial Experiment Association (IA), with the help of his wife and a group of young engineers, including Glenn Curtiss. Together, they built and tested a series of aircraft, one of which, the Silver Dart, made the first controlled powered flight in Canada in 1909. In addition to aviation, Bell studied hydrofoils, marine engineering, sheep breeding, and alternative fuels. His desire to understand the world through experimentation led him to keep detailed journals, build countless prototypes, and collaborate with a wide network of scientists and engineers. Chapter 8. Home and Hearth. The Man Behind the Genius. Despite his many commitments, Bell was a devoted husband and father. He and Mabel had 4 children, though 2 died in infancy. Their home, being Brigg, in Bodec, Nova Scotia, became a sanctuary. The property featured laboratories, boathouses, and breathtaking views of the Brass Door Lake. At Brigg, Bell found peace and inspiration. He and Mabel entertained guests, conducted experiments, and participated in local life. Bell even helped establish a school and supported local industries. His generosity and humility endeared him to the community. Bell was known for his thoughtful demeanor, hearty laugh, and philosophical nature. He believed strongly in the importance of family, curiosity, and the moral obligations of science. Though he gained wealth and fame, he remained grounded and always credited others for their contributions. Chapter 9. Recognition and Reflection. A Life Celebrated. Throughout his lifetime, Bell received numerous honors. He was awarded the Legion of Honor by France, the Albert Medal by the Royal Society of Arts, and the Edison Medal by the American Institute of Electrical Engineers. He was also elected as the 2nd president of the National Geographic Society, helping to shape its future as a leading voice in science and exploration. Bell gave lectures across Europe and North America, sharing his insights not only on technology, but also on the ethical responsibilities of inventors. He emphasized the potential of science to uplift humanity and warned against the misuse of technology. Despite his accolades, Bell never sought fame. He often stated that his inventions were meant to serve society, not to glorify the inventor. This sense of purpose gave depth to his achievements and ensured that his contributions would be remembered, not only for their innovation, but for their intent. Chapter 10. Farewell to the Future. The Legacy Lives On. Alexander Graham Bell passed away on August 2, 1922. At the age of 75, his death was marked by a moment of silence across the continent as telephone services paused in tribute. He was buried at Biography beside his beloved Mabel, who died the following year. Bell's legacy continues in many forms. The Bell Laboratories, founded in part due to his work, became a cradle for numerous technological breakthroughs. The telephone evolved into the mobile devices we use today, carrying his dream into the 21st century. More than just an inventor, Bell was a humanitarian, educator, and visionary. His work with the deaf, his contributions to aviation and communication, and his relentless pursuit of knowledge stand as a testament to what one person can achieve when guided by curiosity and compassion. His life story reminds us that true innovation springs not only from intellect but from empathy, vision, and the courage to imagine the impossible.